Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder. Today I want to give you some first impressions on the German new light tank in the tech tree at 9.0, which is the TAM or TAM. I call it TAM for the sake of it. And before I go into that tank with a quick description and a lot of gameplay with a hilarious final Ace Tanker gameplay, I want to clarify something. So it might be that I just screwed up a little bit on my last video about another German tank, the premium Leopard A1A1L/44. And I talked about excessively also the fact that there is no premium Silverline modifier of 2.0 in the stat card. I restarted the game, I restarted the PC, it's still not there for me. And I think this must be it must be like this because of the test drive. But it's the first time that I actually see this, and also the results, especially in Silverlines, of which I now lay more focus. They just not there. They were just not there. They were not just premium tank like. So I'm sorry, but this is all the information I can get on every other single tank that I had a look at. For instance, also the TAM, the T55 TAM, which I don't own. It also has in the stat card this modifier. Some other people claimed that, yeah, you should compare this to, if you go to the Warbond shop, to the premium vehicles, they are there displayed. The problem is, apparently they don't have this modifier shown as well there, but for me they have. They have this all. Maybe because I own them, I don't know, but this is the only tank that I've come across that doesn't have this. And so from this perspective on, I talked about the tank. Don't get me wrong, the tank is not bad, but it's at 9.0 and faces XM1s. And that brings me also to the TAM. The TAM is a beautiful looking tank. I like especially this camouflage that it just purchased, and it performs really well. It's fast, it's maneuverable, it has a great gun, especially for a light tank. It can scout, it has firepower and everything that you want, okay? But that means it also is susceptible to hull break, which is a bit of a downside for this tank, to be honest. So it's like a top tier Hellcat. It's certainly more fun than the Leopard A1A1 with the L44. As I said, the scouting mechanic is great, which helps you to overcome a little bit the stock grind compared to the A1A1, the Leopard, the normal one in the tech tree. And you know, you also have now the improved performance of the stock APDS, the improved accuracy with the last patch, so it's not as drastic anymore. And then also it's better, definitely better compared to the Begleitpanzer 57 for various different reasons. Amongst them, you just have a stabilizer. And then also the main point of criticism on this tank that absolutely destroys it on the other flip side of the coin is that it's frustrating to play in a normal battle, because I kid you not, in 85-90% of the cases you're up tiered to 10.0, and in the cases where you're not fully up tiered, which is the remaining 10-12%, you then are in a 9.7 battle. And I just had one battle so far where I was actually top tier, and then we faced a horde of XM1s. So to fight the Americans is an absolute nightmare at the moment. They have the XM1, the normal M1 Abrams, and then the insane price version, and they have helicopters. If played right, they are actually really disgusting to fight against. The same then also goes for the FJ4B, and if they are, you know, through all of this arsenal by some miracle, then well, I'm pretty sure you have nothing from this because he got killed anyway. And there is other CAS coming in and other low tier tanks from the Americans, so you can build an insanely big lineup that works really well for the Americans at the moment, and they get spammed out massively, and in 80% of the battles you are facing the Americans. And the only battle that I want to show you in the end after I show you also some killing scenes and some overall scenes is that I faced the Russians, and that is actually what it boils down to. Then let's have a look at the engine. 720 horsepower for 30.5 tons, maximum speed forwards and backwards 75 kilometers per hour, restricted firing angles. We have 24 degrees per second turret rotation speed, but just minus 7 degrees of gun depression and 18 degrees of gun elevation. The reload is going down to 6.7, so you have comparable stats to the Leopard A1A1, which actually has a better gun depression but same reload. And despite the gun having a different name, not L7A3 but here FMK4 Modelo 1L, it's still an L7 for all intents and purposes. Same ammunition, same stock grind, same statistics, same reload, same everything. And yeah, the armor on this tank is not really the greatest. You might bounce something at a weird angle here on the side cheeks of the turret or on the upper frontal plate, but most of the time you get, if something bounces here on this 11 millimeters or the 32 here, it bounces upward in your gun breech and causes a hull break anyway. So it's not the same as with the Leopard 2K. And yeah, that's actually all that I want to say about it. Let's go into some gameplay. So now let's begin with a few scenes that are a bit discouraging. So you can see I'm here on this wide open map. I try to flank, I try to go somewhere to spot the enemies from the side, but there is always a XM1 that just ruins your day. And while I can just counter spot him and make my team aware that he is there, there is always something called a helicopter that ruins your day if you then fight the Russians. And there we can see some helicopters in action just a few seconds into the gameplay, and there you can see the machine guns where they actually shoot down here this helicopter, which is deeply satisfying. Now, I cannot really say it other way, that Gaijin just changed here the spawn point mechanics, that there is just more to shoot for helicopters for a longer time, so that helicopters are actually having a point in the game. That was a bad shot, and it just goes through the tank and at least made the gun breech red, but I did not really notice this at the time. So now we have the gun breech completely disabled. We get the enemy kill assist and we scouted him. That's fine by me. You have to just say that every dead Abrams is a good Abrams. They get spammed out. They make the gameplay just focused around them. There is nothing but Abrams, nothing but XM1s, nothing but insane price variants. And there is a helicopter coming in again, burning this time from the blue team, and I just flank around, and you can see the tank can do the stuff. The problem that I have with the XM1 and all those other tanks is that they are faster and just have armor, and therefore make a light tank, gameplay wise, on the small maps, mostly irrelevant. Except if you kill them. But that's rather the exception than the rule. And then again, we have now this case that we cleared here the flank and we partially control the area around A, although A getting currently captured by the enemy. And I just tried to go over this railway embankment, and there is another helicopter coming in. I tried to snipe him, but seems like I'm not really the best sniper today. I overlet, and he gets sniped down by somebody else, by T-64B. And so I look around me, is there another helicopter? So where is the enemy spawn? How should we actually support our team? How should we go from now the rear of the front line to the front? And then a helicopter comes in, and there is just nothing that I can do. I can try to run, but you know, faster than my missile. And there it comes. And obviously it was an ATGM, and it hull broke me. So that's just really disappointing. And then there are cases like this, and they just happen always on top tier. And so I just picked it out for 1 minute. We have to endure here this gameplay. I just wanted to move in very aggressively. I shoot first, but I still got killed. So I went into the replay, and I know that I had a ping of 140, but I had 0 packet loss. And so again, I got hull broken here on the front transmission, and there we can see that I shoot first, definitely 100%. And look at the difference in the direction where his gun barrel is aiming. So he survives this, and yes, this is rather slow in terms of movement, but the shell actually hits him and penetrates him, but he's not knocked out. And then with the literally last dying breath, he kills me. And this happens so frustratingly often. And this is again why I think it's so annoying in this tank where the turret is situated in the back of the vehicle. So very often you get shot in your transmission, or you get hit by an artillery splash, heat shell, or APFSDS through your transmission. It's frustrating with this tank, even more so than with the RU-251. So there is that scene. Then we have also this, which is a comical situation. I'm the only tank on the side. Then I get hit with a machine gun, but I get killed again in a mixed match. Thank you, Gaijin, for this. This is something that we really needed. And watch this bounce off the heat shell. Yeah, and there it goes. And just fragments a little bit the gun breech, and that causes the tank to be registered as being dead. The same can here be said about the XM1 spam. So here again I move aggressively in. There is no chance effectively to flank the enemy, so you have to hide amongst them. I scout them and I do not shoot them because I don't want to get focused down immediately, because there is not just one XM1, there are multiple ones. So it's of course high risk, high reward gameplay, and that we actually hit here the ammunition. And I want to go in my scouting bush that I just discovered and love on this map. There is another XM1. Does he see me? No, but he actually got his gunner and tracked him. So that's very beneficial. Let's finish him, kill the driver, thank you very much. He even couldn't spot us with the machine gun. So now we are actually behind enemy lines, and I thought to myself, well, this is going really well. Let's go into the rhythm, okay? Let's scout them, let's kill them, let's focus on the most important targets, and let's look around him. This is such a great position, I love it. I've shown it already in my BMP2 video, and let's see what's there as well. So I'm already moving out of cover. I hear rockets, no thank you, I'm going back into cover. And let's see what my team can do. So the tanks are already spread across the map. Already a lot of tanks have been killed. And then in good American fashion and good American manner, another XM1 is moving in. Let's see if we can hit him. There is another one. It's good that I didn't fire. The bush actually, temporarily at least, saved my life. So can we kill him? Yes, we can. Another nice kill. Can we kill this guy? At least we tracked him. Got the fuel tank. Come on, come on. Okay, I got a intelligent assist. So this is a very helpful position. I killed 3 of those. Made sure that another one got killed. Spotted them. Interrupted their gameplay. And still, there is some action going on B. There is another tank. You know, they keep coming, they keep coming, they keep coming. I spot them, I scout them. I am just in a situation, in a position that is very, very strong. And this is light tank gameplay like it should be. But it's 1 out of 10 matches that you get in such a position. And then, you know, do you withstand the temptation of killing them, of calling in artillery strikes, in just interfering in the fight? You have the gun to do so. But you have an even stronger weapon like this. And then we actually killed the M26 T99. You don't see them that often on the battlefield, so that was definitely a kill worth it. And where is this tank? Does he come in? B gets captured by our team. But now the tank got killed apparently. And there is the XM1. We scout him, and I should have waited a split second more. He turns the turret around, and of course he sees me and one-shots me. And now this is the gameplay where we don't face any American tank, where we are actually in a 9.0 gameplay. You look at this beautiful, beautiful camouflage. I always love to fight on desert maps in the terms of the graphics, in making thumbnails on them. They are just beautiful. By the way, another shout out to Oryx for his thumbnail, which I'm quite sure he makes a wonderful out of this one. And yeah, again, relatively small map, and I want to go wide on the flank. I really want to make the most out of this. And again, you need to play aggressively, because if you don't play aggressively, you get nothing done and you get overrun anyways by the American forces. So I actually was expecting here American forces. I didn't really look into the leaderboard as of the moment that I saw my first opponent. And again, I tried to stay in visual cover and obviously hard cover, therefore. Look around and just let's see if we can scout something. Oh, there is a tank. There are some other tanks. Let's just scout them. And there he is, actually lit up. And if you are such a good target on the minimap, then you know, life is really difficult for you to make a flanking maneuver. I'm not quite sure if he has seen me. If I would be this well, tank, I would spot myself easily. I would have hurt myself. That was actually not the very best tank movement, but thankfully it was a T-64A, so a shot into the middle of the tank from the side guarantees a kill. And there is another one. So we scouted him because he's looking into my direction, and I don't want to make here the wrong play. I know where he is. My team knows where he is. Scouting is such a powerful mechanic in this game, in Tank RB, and there he got destroyed. And I got a reward for that as well. We will look into the post-battle game results, how actually it added up. It's very interesting because I managed to scout many tanks. Now, scouting got nerfed in terms of overall reward, but I think it was also too powerful when the French came in with their light tanks. The amount of scouting reward was quite absurd, so obviously Gaijin came around to nerf it. But that's not our problem. I just want to win the game here. So this tank got killed by a rocket, and there we scout another one, and we go back into hard cover. And there is another one. Oh, that seems to be nice one. That's an IT1. So let's have a look. Let's scout him, and you can actually scout through mountains, which is hilarious. If you know exactly how it works, it's just disgusting how this mechanic works. It's even more powerful than radar in World of Warships going through islands. This rocket is pointing the other way. We stop for the safe shot, and we actually kill him. Now the problem on those small maps is I'm now behind enemy lines, but directly in front on the dune that is overwatching the enemy's spawn point. So that is not really that great. I'm looking for other tanks from the Russians, wherever they might be. And oh boy, there are some tanks. So I cannot really scout here the Object 120. I think he sees my gun barrel. And no, I'm not going out in front of that thing. No thank you, no thank you. And now, what can they do? If they charge me, I can spot them, and the entire team of mine would have a line of fire. And you know, I have my own gun at the end of the day as well. Now here you can maybe feel it a little bit with the lag. Did you see it? I just scouted him through the dune. I think this is hilarious. So, and that's actually a T-44-100. So let's make sure that we kill him. Thank you very much. I think I could have made the most kills here with also the APDS round. So when you flank the enemy team, then I think that the stock grind is not that awful. Especially the combination of improved accuracy, improved post-penetration damage effect, and yeah. It's just also in combination with the stabilizer, so much better in my opinion. And again, we scout him through the dune. He also got damaged. We got a reward for that, but now my team can move in to kill them. I know that at this point it is actually spawn camping, no doubt about this. But you have to see, the tank allows for quick movement. It allows to interrupt an enemy flanking and to give your team the advantage on one edge. The problem is, again, this is just possible versus enemy teams that are slow. And so what the Soviets have to endure in this battle is the exact mirror of what German heavy tanks, especially 6.7 King Tigers, have to endure at 6.7s versus the old Object 906 at 7.0 and so forth. So you can say, yes, the Soviets have now a hard life, but they also suffer not just from the German teams with their better mobility overall, but also they suffer here from especially also the Abrams. And the Abrams is just making such a massive impact in War Thunder that I just have to point this out multiple times. So my work is done here. 6 kills, 4 scouting assists. There is also now the IS-7, which is their last spawner. To be honest, he should not have spawned in, especially since now actually one of our Leopard 2A4s managed to bounce the shell, and that was now my 5th kill assist, and that's the end of the match. So I was very happy to have this game. The most battles that I had before that, I did not survive a single battle other than this one. I did not really have an ace aside from this one. I know it was a complete whitewash of the Russian team, and I feel a little bit guilty for the Russians, but on the other hand, this was one of the few games where I didn't have to face the Americans. And then we have my most appreciated reward, which is obviously the Survivor Award, the Survivor Medal. So, yeah, let's have a look at the post-battle results, and there we can see it's very interesting that we got overall 45,000 silver lines and 4,000 research points, and I really like this by researching my own tank with the test drive. But look at the silver line income. Ground targets destroyed 6. I got 8,600 silver lines for this, and for the 5 kills I didn't get that much, or the kill assist, I didn't get all that much, but it was a substantial addition. First in place with 1,600 score points, and the profit after nearly 12,000 silver line ammunition costs is only 33,000 silver lines for an exceptional match in which I actually didn't die, so I didn't have to pay the repair costs. And yeah, you could see the previous games were all defeats due to the Americans, and there you can see for scouting 5,800, and that is a quite substantial addition. So scouting, kill assists, a lot of action in the gameplay, and if possible also capping, and this would guarantee you a rather nice income. That's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this battle. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Give this video a like if it did. Subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll see each other in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.